Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I promised someone a video on how I took care of my Maxillarias, and that was Ryan Milt. He commented on one of my older videos and said, like, how do you care for them? So I just wanted to talk about that today. I'm going to be a little bit more quiet than I'd hoped to be, but also I'd like to say hi to all the new people out there, because there's a lot of new people that came to my channel. It was crazy, like overnight I got 30-40 subscribers and I was like, whoa. So I'm gonna let you guys know I have 3 Maxillarias right now, and I really only brought out the two that would be in the discussion. The other one, I made this video before and I really didn't use it in any kind of talking, so I just didn't bother bringing it out. So I have 2 here. This is a Maxillaria centifolia over here, Maxillaria variabilis. I also have a new hybrid that someone from my society made in my room. So first of all, before I start, I just like to say this is how I grow my plants. It's not like the set way, you know. You've probably heard it a lot from a lot of different people, but you know, this is just how I grow them. It's the tips that I can give you, and you can take this and mix it with some other videos and stuff, and you know, that's what you do when you're researching a plant. It's just, you know, there's I can give you a lot of information, but don't let it be your only source of information. There are a lot of other great channels out there. So just want to let you guys know how I grow it. I'm gonna try and do this pretty quick. So I recorded this 3 different times. All of them were over 15 minutes, so I'm gonna try and keep this one pretty short because I just tend to ramble on. So I'm gonna start with sun. Sun for these plants, they tend to like it a little bit higher around Cattleya light. Now, I do know that especially Maxillaria tenuifolia, it can take a little bit shadier or a little bit brighter than Cattleya light, I think. But this one, it can do the same, just not as bright. I think just overall, for pretty much all Maxillarias, I'd say they like an Oncidium Cattleya type light. That's just how it is. But they can't take, I don't think they could take direct sun all day. You know, that might burn them. And I don't know how great they do in some just straight shade. So now, watering and potting, I tend to put these together, if that makes sense, because depending on what you have it potted in, you're gonna have to water more or less. But I found that medium bark or like a fine bark, both, depending on what your plant is like, I feel like those are the best for Maxillarias. Now, this one is in bark, but then I got some sphagnum moss on top just because I thought it could use that, and I think it's doing pretty well. And this Maxillaria tenuifolia is just in straight bark, and it's doing pretty good too. I just had to stake it up and all because I don't like it flopping over and all when I just repotted it. Oh yeah, I also just repotted this recently. Also wanted to show you, this is in bloom right now. I can't really get a good shot because all the blooms are so tiny, you don't really get to see it that well. But it's got some brown in the center, maybe like a deep red, not brown, but it's just yellow there too. Maybe you can see it or something. I might put up a picture here just to show you. You can't really get a good picture of it though. Yeah, so I already told you, sun, kind of bright. Now, the watering, what I do, especially when they're outside, I keep them pretty much wet all the time. Now, I say that, but there is exceptions by the fact that, you know, outside in the greenhouse, things dry out in a day, and so I just re-water it, because these like to stay, they like to have water on them, but they don't like to stay wet, if that makes any sense. So I water them, let them dry out, which takes about a day in the greenhouse, and then I water them again. That's just how it is. They need a quick drying out, and then you can water them again. And that bird is so loud. So I said potting medium. I think medium fine bark good for these guys. Fertilizer, what I do is I really don't use blooming fertilizer, as a lot of people do, but I mainly use growing fertilizer. I use kelp. I wish I had it with me. It's just like a kelp extract. You mix it with water, helps root growth, promotes just growth in general. And then towards the end of the season, I might start adding in a little bit of bloom fertilizer, but I really just don't ever add that much bloom fertilizer just because I don't see the point in it. It does a little bit, but I mean, it really just depends. Like, if you have good growth, you're gonna get flowers. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I don't really use bloom fertilizer that much. So also a little note I put down here is they didn't really seem to be too picky with humidity. I mean, there's really no way to go with that. They're not too picky on it, especially like this Maxillarias tenifolia. It can take just about anything, if I'm being honest. But they're not too picky with the humidity, but they do love airflow, especially this one. And I know they really like airflow because when I took them inside, my humidity inside is always pretty high, and I don't do anything to keep that humidity up. So if anyone asks, it's just a theory of mine, but my water heater is right behind where the plants grow. That's probably got nothing to do with it, but for some reason in my grow corner, it's always above like 50%. But there's almost no airflow. So next winter, I'm gonna put in fans and stuff, but there was almost no airflow, and they didn't do as well because they kept growing into the winter, and those winter growths just don't look as good as the summer growths. I think it's mainly due to airflow. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on these. I kept this one pretty short compared to the 15 minutes like my last ones were, but anyway, yeah, I hope this might help anyone who's trying to grow Maxillarias, you know, anything like that. But also, just in case anyone wanted a quick recap of anything, sun, they like bright, like almost Cattleya type light. Just this is in general, by the way, you know, there are exceptions and such, but they like bright light. Water, they like to just dry out in between waterings, and then you water them right back. Potting like a fine to a medium bark is normally the best, at least for me in my area. Some people might want to put sphagnum moss, or like I think some people grow Maxillarias tenifolia like in volcanic rocks, which is like, I can't imagine that, but you know, some people can do it. Fertilizer, you know, once again, I'm not a big fertilizer person, but I use the kelp extract, but I don't think you need fertilizer. You know, you just need a nice growing fertilizer in summer, and then that's really all you need. I say that also just in summer because winter I kind of let all my plants go kind of dormant, if that makes sense, but they don't really go dormant. They just kind of slow down their growth. And they're just not too picky with their humidity, and they love airflow. And that's just kind of the basics all wrapped up in a short little time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I ordered some stuff, and I have some ideas of what I'm gonna do. So I ordered 3 orchids just today, actually. $50 order, but I think that's pretty good for 3 plants, actually. And I can't wait for them to come. And I also ordered shade cloth for my greenhouse, and I'm gonna set that up, and so that'll be nice and ready for the spring move outside. Can't wait for that. Yeah, so I got a lot of fun stuff happening right now, and also the catasetums are going crazy. I also accidentally killed one. One of my favorite ones, which kind of sucks. I mean, just goes to show, you know, I've been growing catasetums for 3 years and I'm still killing them. It was just one, and I think it's only going to be one, but hopefully it's only one. But still, I mean, I'm learning. Anyway, this paper keeps moving up. These are my notes. Okay. Yeah, so bye everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to. It's okay if you don't. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.